Ready to work out for only 10 minutes? Today I am joined by Cam Allen, a fitness expert who works specifically with midlife women, and she is sharing a powerful reframe around exercise and consistency, which I love. Cam talks about a personal shift that she made when she stopped believing workouts had to be long and exhausting to be effective. By experimenting with shorter, more focused strength workouts, she found her consistency improved along with her energy and results. So in this conversation, Cam explains why short workouts work so well for midlife women, how to help your brain commit to consistency, and how strength training can become something you actually stick with. So if you want to recharge your fitness program in a doable way, grab those resistance bands and come on in. Did you know that our struggle with weight doesn't start with the food on your plate or get fixed in the gym? 80% of our weight struggle is mental. That's right. The key to unlocking long-term weight release and management begins in your mind. Hi there, I'm Rita Black. I'm a clinical hypnotherapist, weight loss expert, best-selling author, and the creator of the Shift Weight Mastery process. And not only have I helped thousands of people over the past 20 years achieve long-term weight mastery, I am also a former weight struggler, carb addict, and binge eater. And after 2 decades of failed diets and fad weight loss programs, I lost 40 pounds with the help of hypnosis. Not only did I release all that weight, I have kept it off for 25 years. Enter the Thin Thinking podcast, where you too will learn how to remove the mental roadblocks that keep you struggling. I'll give you the thin thinking tools, skills, and insights to help you develop the mindset you need, not only to achieve your ideal weight, but to stay there long term and live your best life. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome and come on in. And get your sneakers on. And if I sound out of breath, it's probably because I've already done my 10-minute workout. I am kidding you, of course. So I hope you are feeling healthy and happy today. Hey, do you listen to podcasts while you're exercising? I know I do. I just love it. And if you haven't done that yet, try it out. It will make your walk or your treadmill workout or even your strength training workout go so much faster. I love to multitask, okay? I'm old school, so I will love to learn while I'm working out. I hope you do too. Maybe you're listening to this while you're working out. Okay, so today we have a real treat because Cam Allen, Ms. Cam Allen, is back with more midlife wisdom about fitness in midlife. And for me, I consider midlife, being 61, anywhere between 40 and 80, okay? I'm giving myself a real buffer, all right? So I have to crack up, and maybe you have cracked up too in the same fashion as me. If you go to a gym, and in January, you have noticed that everybody is there. Everybody is on tours of the gym. The salespeople at the gym are so excited. I go to the YMCA a couple of blocks from my home. I'm very lucky. And I just crack up because the classes that are usually not so full are packed to the gills. But I also know by the end of January, they begin to thin out quite a bit. So, and it's understandable. You know, a lot of people make those New Year's resolutions and then get overwhelmed, give up. But I am excited because Cam has the recipe to keep it simple and keep going and be consistent. So Cam Allen is a fitness and functional nutrition coach who helps women navigate midlife when the old rules stop working. After entering surgical menopause herself, she had to relearn how to support her body. Now she helps other women do the same through strength training, functional nutrition, and her 4-body approach that supports the physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual sides of health. Cam is the host of the Menopause Method podcast and the creator of Menopause Mini's strength training. And she believes menopause isn't a decline, it's an opening into steadier energy and strength you can actually feel and rely on. And if you're interested, right now, Cam has a New Year January special. I believe that will go into February, but she is offering our listeners $50 off the Menopause Mini Strength Training Program, which we are going to talk about in the podcast a little bit. It's usually $97, and right now you can grab it for $47 just on this podcast. So go to the show notes and check it out. And let's dive in with Cam. Hey, Cam. Welcome back to the Thin Thinking podcast. It's really great to see you again.
So nice. Thank you, Rita. I'm so glad to have this conversation with you.
Me too, because I have been thinking a lot about this. I just had a DEXA scan this morning.
Awesome.
I had them a couple of years ago, and I have been working on my bones a lot. And I know that maybe we'll talk a little bit about this, but for everybody, Cam is just everything fitness. And the woman was who scanned me was, because I've been doing some working out and training, and she's like, what do you do for your workout? And I was like, I really actually don't do long workouts. I do, and she was like, because I know we're going to talk about this. And she was like, oh, okay. She's like, I'm in menopause and I'm all over the place and I don't even want to work out anymore. It's too overwhelming. So I thought I'd bring that into you,
Perfect.
because she's probably, typical of a lot of women who get overwhelmed by the idea of working out, right? And it just seems to be just a common phenomena, especially why is it that menopause or even postmenopause can cause us to kind of break out of that routine or whatever. I don't know what you would call it.
Yeah, it's kind of like the perfect storm because we have the lower estrogen, which protects our brain, our muscles, and our bones. So there's that.
Right.
And it also affects like our mood. Some days are amazing and some days we have low energy. It affects our sleep. So estrogen would be like the root cause of it all. But then also we try to go back to what always worked for us. For me, it was CrossFit in my 40s. I CrossFitted my way through a divorce and an empty nest. And it was easier to be like beat myself up in the gym versus feel feelings, if you will. And so that was the way I dealt with my emotions, was to overexercise. However, when menopause came, that did not work anymore at all. I found myself, if I did a hard workout, I was absolutely exhausted. And then I wasn't moving at all, wasn't walking. I certainly wasn't going to the gym.
Interesting. Yeah, I
Mhm.
mean, how did you get into being, the in the world of fitness? So I know you were CrossFit. Maybe you can tell our listeners because Cam, I know I had you on a couple of years ago, but I think a lot of our listeners may not know you or, and have not heard your story. So maybe tell us a little more about this whole world of overdoing exercise at CrossFit, because I think so many people, I do get a lot of clients who were like, I was an athlete, I was very fit, and then I can't get myself to exercise. What's up with that? But
Yeah.
maybe,
So, yeah, it's part of it, like our mindset around it, which I know you love to talk about how our brain operates unconsciously. Our subconscious brain is our body in motion, right? And I feel like when we go back to exercise the way we used to do it, but we're on this side of life, on the menopause, post-menopause side of life, it doesn't serve us. And our body whispers to us, oh, you should really take the day off. You don't really need to exercise
mm,
today. Remember last time you couldn't walk up the steps or you were so sore you couldn't move. And I feel like that's part of it. My story back, I started lifting weights when I was 41. It was the beginning. I had left teaching elementary school and I started lifting weights because my marriage was at this rock bottom and I needed something to deal with all the emotions. So that's how I discovered lifting weights. I was completely clueless about the health benefits. It was not about health benefits. It was about emotional. I need to be strong in the gym so I can be strong in my life kind of situation. And I can say that we can still be strong in menopause and we still can get the endorphins and that confidence from lifting in the gym, but the stimulus needs to be changed. It needs to change. We don't need to be so hard on ourselves like maybe like you used to do when you were younger.
Yeah, for
Mhm.
sure. And when you are advocating now for shorter workouts, right? And that was a big
100%.
transition for you.
100%. Yeah. It kind of like, so I'm 7 years post menopause. And I would say the first 5-ish years, I was doing like 30-minute workouts, 45-minute workouts, and it worked until about, I would say a year and a half ago. I went to my doctor and she said to me, annual checkup, do you realize you've gained 20 pounds? And I was like, no, Dr. Liz, I didn't really realize that I'd gained 20 pounds. I was just doing, I'm good. I can do these workouts. Everything's fine. And when she said that to me, it was kind of like, oh, I think I described it to you as a hall pass. I had been giving myself way too many hall passes. And I went back to the drawing board and I was like, okay, I'm making a lot of excuses that I'm not exercising. I don't have the time or the energy. Can I get the same stimulus, keep my muscles and bones strong, and have energy and time for workouts? And that's when I kind of like broke apart the 60 minutes a week into tinier chunks. And yeah, amazing because you can convince your brain, oh, 10 minutes, I got this. I've got energy and time for 10 minutes. It's really easy to convince yourself.
Yeah. So you made it more less overwhelming, more
Less overwhelming.
manageable.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And
Mm-hmm.
how does that work physiologically? Because I'll tell you, I started a couple of years ago with an osteoporosis diagnosis, doing daily muscle. I have a little set of weights and all, and
Mm-hmm.
I knew I wasn't going to be able to. I do go to classes, I lift, but I've never done like 45 minutes. Or my daughter will go into the gym for an hour and a half, and she'll lift all this weight. And I'm like, dang, girl, I don't know about that. I'm not. She's like, Mom, come on, you can do this. I was like, I don't think I should, really,
Uh-huh.
frankly. So physiologically,
Mhm.
what's the difference between why do people say go do like these very big, long upper body workout, lower body workouts versus
Mhm.
breaking things into, which really makes a lot of sense to me, into smaller chunks?
Yeah, so consistency is part of the formula. So if you can be consistent, that's always going to benefit your health, your muscles, and your bones. But then it's heavy for you is really the key that I find. As I said, I've been lifting since I was 41, but things have changed. I'm, almost 57. Things have really changed over the last 16 years. And as I age and I am deeper into menopause, I had to change my ways. So the key is heavy for you. And that means like the last few reps of each and every set should feel challenging. And also, if you've been using the same weight for the same movement for a long time, it's time to move up to the next weight and challenge your muscles. If you get to the end of the set, Rita, and you're like, I'm not even breathless, or that wasn't hard, then that's an indicator that you need to do heavier for you. And the thing about it is, heavy for you changes day to day as life changes day to day in the side of life. Some nights you
Great.
sleep and some nights you don't. And so, heavy for you is really the key.
That's great. Great to know. What
Mhm.
is the heaviest? This might seem like a naive
Mhm.
question, but I'm sure a lot of our listeners are like, well, what is something that you would advise not to do, especially like for our joints? Like, should we be worried about our joints at this age? Like
I
I'm
feel,
61
yeah.
and
Mhm.
I sometimes I will try lifting heavier weights, but I feel like, am I doing something here or is it fine?
As long as your form is dialed in, then it's okay to challenge. You want to challenge your muscles and your bones, and that also leads to your DEXA scan and having stronger bones. So our muscles pull on our bones, which stimulates our muscles and our bones to grow stronger and bigger. So it's like using a heavy for you weight is the key in order to build stronger muscles and bones. And then recovery. So the way I wrote the program that I'm using now, you rotate. So there's like 1 day's lower body, 1 day's upper body, 1 day's core. So your lower body is getting the rest it needs because between your workouts, That's when your bones and muscles recover and grow bigger and stronger. With nutrition, you need to add some protein in there for sure. Rest,
Right.
recovery, protein is what you'll need. Effort in the gym, and then rest, recovery, and protein is like the secret formula to growing muscles and stronger bones in menopause.
What do you think about the length of time so what are you advocating for? Like in your program,
Mm-hmm.
how long are the workouts?
The workouts are 10-ish minutes. And I say 10-ish because rest is part of the formula. So I might need more rest than you do after a set of exercise. So I allow rest. Whereas CrossFit me, CrossFit Cam didn't allow that rest. And that's when you are pushing the edge too far and you're stressing your body too much, which, on this side of life is not really necessary. So after the set of exercise, you rest until you can go again. That's the key.
Oh, okay. So
Uh-huh.
you're doing like a arm like
Sure.
bicep curl, and
Yeah.
then you're resting after you've worked to fatigue,
Yeah.
and then doing the next
Yeah.
exercise. Okay.
Absolutely. So let's say we're doing bicep curls. So that would be an upper body. As far as the programming goes, there's, push, pull, horizontal, all the like the science of strength training, all of that is built in. So say you're doing bicep curls and you get to rep 12 and you're like, yeah, I'm good. I felt the effort. Maybe you feel your muscle burn. Maybe you're noticing you're getting sweaty. And then you would stop your bicep curls and take a break and catch your breath until you're ready to go on to the next. I usually do 2 exercises per workout. So there would be another upper body workout paired with the bicep curls.
Okay. And then
Yeah.
that's it. You're done.
Yeah. Yeah. Four
Wow. I
rounds.
like this
I
workout.
know. Yeah. 10 to 15 reps. But again, if you're getting to rep 12 and you're like, that was no big deal, we need heavier weight. So that's the key, to challenge yourself, not break yourself, challenge yourself.
What is the ideal amount though? So, are you doing this 6 days a week? Are you
Yeah.
doing this at 6 days and one day of rest?
Yeah. So, well, it just depends. So, like, let's say I go down to the gym. I have my gym in my basement, and maybe I'll do 2 workouts in one day and then I'll take an extra day off. It depends. Like, the 10 minutes helps you get over yourself, get down there, get working on your workout. And then if you feel good, you can do the next one. But it's, let's say, 60 minutes a week. So, how do you want to divide your 60 minutes? It's based on your schedule, on your energy, on your sleep. How are you feeling?
Okay, so it's
Mhm.
flexible. If
Oh,
you want to do okay, but it's
yeah.
just the idea that you're using these muscles for about 60 minutes in an intense sort of way
Mhm.
every single week.
Correct. Yes. Hmm.
Okay. And when you go to the gym, because I'm sure somebody would
Hmm.
be curious, do you do cardio first or do you do weights first, then cardio? I mean, and
So
maybe you don't do cardio at all sometimes, but I'm just wondering what.
yeah, so I think the last time we spoke, we talked about the 4 keys to midlife fitness. So cardio is part of this, but also I want everyone to understand that lifting weights, the heavy for you weight, is also cardiovascular protective. Um, but I do cardio, but it's not an afterthought. Strength training comes first, and then cardio is like 1 or 2 times a week. But honestly, Rita, if I'm using the right weight, I'm feeling the cardiovascular benefits from lifting too. Like, I need a break. I am breathless. I am sweaty, and I need that rest before I go on to the next exercise.
Yeah. Oh,
Mhm.
100%.
Yeah.
No, can you review those 4 things for fitness? Because I think a midlife fitness, because I
Yeah.
I know my brain has let them go.
Okay. Yeah. Well, first of
I
all,
need a
strength training.
refresher.
Yeah. Strength training is it. And around 60 minutes. And I think that's what we spoke about a few years ago.
Yeah,
So this new way of thinking is just taking those 60 minutes and making it easy for your brain to be like, yeah, I got the time for this. I'm worth 10 minutes. Let's go.
got
So
it.
strength training is definitely important for your bones, your muscles, for your metabolism, all the things that we know that muscle does for us. So would be one. Second would be non-exercise activity, and that's walking, like walking, standing, doing a standing. I have a standing desk here. Sometimes I'll walk on the treadmill if I'm on Zoom all day, something like that. doing errands, parking further away. Non-exercise activity doesn't raise your cortisol, doesn't raise your heart rate. It's just moving, just moving. So that would be second. And by the way, that's like 15% of your daily metabolism. And I don't think people understand that. I know I certainly, younger me did not understand that. Walking is not worthless. I would used to think that it was, oh, that's not a big deal, but it's really a big part of our metabolism. The third thing is
Is that,
rest.
can I ask you, is
Yeah.
that what you would call sedentary calories then? Like just getting up and moving around your house and putting the
Yeah.
laundry in and going, okay, okay.
And like doing 10 air squats. Have you heard about exercise snacks? Have you seen that on social media?
No, tell me less about it.
I love that. Like after you eat, doing 10 air squats is a way to add movement to your life and naturally lower your blood sugar.
Yes, I know
Because
about walking
yeah,
after a
yeah,
meal. Yeah, but so
yeah.
you can do 10 air squats.
10 air squats is our lower body has huge muscles, our glutes and our hamstrings and our quads. And I like to think those is like warehouses for our sugar, for our blood sugar. The bigger muscles are in our lower body for sure. So walking or doing 10 air squats after you eat is wonderful for the non-exercise part of your metabolism and also great for your blood sugar. Plus digestion, stress management, like there's just so many things from walking for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, I love it. Okay.
Uh-huh.
I'm sorry, I interrupted you. You were moving
It's
on to the
okay.
third.
Yeah, rest and recovery is number three. I would definitely put that on there. It's okay to take a rest during your workout. CrossFit Cam didn't know that. So I had to add that into the protocol to make sure that people like me understand that rest and recovery is part of it. So if you're hitting, I see this sometimes, they're hitting the gym so hard day after day because they want the scale to move and they're over exercising and usually under eating, which is not
Mhm.
not a good formula for the midlife metabolism at all. So rest and recovery within the workout, like I mentioned earlier, and also between the workouts. And then, but that includes, I want to mention that doesn't mean sitting on the couch and eating chips all day. That means still moving, but you're not like intentionally lifting weights or you're not intentionally doing cardio. You're just an
Yeah.
active human. And then finally, the fourth one is cardio. So like salt and pepper, a little seasoning of your cardio.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Very good. Oh, well, very cool. Now you mentioned something about, and I see this too, but talk a little bit about why do workouts often lead to better food choices? Like, have you noticed that? And,
Oh, yeah.
want to speak
I,
to that at all?
Yeah. So what happens is you start taking your care of yourself better and it ripples out to other parts of your life. Maybe you go to bed earlier. Maybe you realize that when you eat this food, you feel amazing and your workouts feel better. And when you eat this food, you don't feel as good. Maybe you're tired. Maybe you're having a blood sugar crash. Yeah. It definitely ripples up. And I hear that a lot from women. I love getting emails or messages on social media like, guess what? I've done this and now I'm doing this as well. And it's something outside of what are doing in the gym. It's very exciting.
What do your clients and students in your courses, like, what are the first things that they notice when they start doing these shorter workouts as far as like just fitness and what are the kind of the results that they're
Yeah.
seeing?
So I would say they're non-tangible energy. They have more energy during the day. So, investing 10 minutes of working out and then they have more energy for the rest of the day. And then when they go to the kitchen, they make better choices. It's kind of like this ripple effect. So I would say energy and then their attitude about themselves, like how they view themselves, maybe how they speak to themselves. Those are the things that change first. Body composition comes, but it's not the first thing.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think confidence and also the idea that with resistance training, it's really the only way. I think we all have a fantasy about our body shape. Like our body shape is our body shape. And
Mm-hmm.
even when we release weight, we tend to have the same body shape. And resistance training is really the only way we can reshape our body to a certain degree. I mean, we're limited, of course. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, so do you find that people have sometimes unrealistic ideas about their body, just as, not about their ability to strength train, but just that people sometimes wish they, uh, you know, could, they're worried about like bulking up their arms, or, they want thinner arms or thinner legs. And
Yeah, so I feel like I heard more about bulking up in the past. I don't feel like the people in my little world right now are worried about that. I do feel that women are impatient. They want to lift weights and see instant results, and that's just not the way it works. It's really about an adventure, if you will, and learning how to care about yourself in a new way at this stage of life. And it's really easy to compare menopause you to younger you and get frustrated. So it's, showing up for yourself in a different way and learning that this is part of it. It's not just about how you look, but it's actually about improving your health. Like we mentioned, blood sugar, and it increases your metabolism. There's so many bones being strong and capable through life. That's a big deal. And our skeleton carries us through life. So strength training is just part of it.
are there any, do you have any words for people who think it's too late for them,
Oh,
or,
yeah.
that
Yeah.
the damage has been done, my body's broken?
Yeah. First of all, none of that's true. I think you would agree with me. It's
Of
not
course.
too late. Yeah, not too late at all. In fact, if you're new to lifting and you are in postmenopause, that's really exciting. I think women that have never lifted before really see changes in their body composition faster than those that have a history of exercising in the past. Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. If you're new
Well,
to lifting, there's so much out there for you. It's very exciting.
yeah, and I think I see more and more women at the gym. There's this is a very interesting mix because I go to the YMCA, and it's young boys and older women.
I love it. I love it. The word's getting out, Rita. That means the word's getting out.
And we're all like, step aside, young
Yeah,
boys.
right. Oh, that's so encouraging. I love to hear that.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh-huh.
Um, so tell us about your program. I know you have a program that is, well, just tell us about it, because
Yeah.
I'd like to hear about how it's all broken down and everything.
Yeah. Yeah. So it was over a year ago. I had a client and she's been a long-term one-on-one client, and she was doing some of my cardio workouts because I do program those too, not just strength training. And she's like, I just love it. I just, I look at the workout and I know what to do. And then I just go do it and I don't have to think about it. And I love it. And about the same time was when my doctor said, Cam, do you know you've gained 20 pounds? And honestly, when I look back, yeah, I remember changing clothes a lot, but I was just, I'm good. I'm on autopilot here. It was like a combination of that conversation with my client and my doctor's conversation. I was like, okay, we're going to change this up. So I created something called the Menopause Minis. And I use the science of strength training. So all the movement patterns are in there built in. You don't have to do the thinking. I made sure that was all in there. And the way it works is they're 10-ish minute workouts because again, you rest based on what you need and what you're not keeping up with me, or you're doing your thing, I'm doing my thing. And so the way it works is it rotates between lower body, upper body, core. So in the course of a week, if you did 6 workouts, you would hit the lower body twice, the upper body twice, and the core twice for the 60 minutes. So the rest is built in. So you're not overworking, like you're not only doing core workouts, because women love doing core workouts. You're not only doing that. So
I love that. And so we are going to put a link in the show notes to that. And is it a video? Is it written out? Like, how is it
it's
presenting?
both. Yeah. So I'm a former classroom teacher. So I've got you covered. So it includes each workout has like a demo video with me coaching you through how to get your body in good form. And then below there's written descriptions and, movement cues to make sure you're in the right position. Form always comes first, Rita, always, always, always. And then once the form feels good and you're feeling good, then we challenge ourselves. So the last few reps do feel challenging to you. And again, challenging feels different day to day. It just depends on, but we want to challenge our muscles to challenge our bones and, increase our muscle mass as we age.
Are there, I mean, I think another place that I feel like people would have resistance, and this is just from working with, so many people over the years, is someone who is either saying, I don't have a gym membership, or I don't have weights, and I don't have weights. So
Hmm.
where would someone, because I want to ease everybody into
Yeah.
this so that they can all expand their minds around the idea of this.
Hmm.
Where would, if somebody didn't have access to a gym or they didn't even, own weights, what would be the best way for them to get some weights? Would it be to go to Target and get some? Would it be to order them online? Because you're,
Yeah.
an expert in this, and I'm sure you have some ideas that maybe people aren't thinking about.
Yeah. So the most affordable way is to get a set of resistance bands from Amazon. That's a really great way to get started. You can do a lot with the resistance bands. And usually, like the kits come with 6 different resistance up to like 50 pounds. So the tubes are different. So I'd start there. That's like $30. That would get you started for sure. And then second, you could look for like fake Facebook Marketplace is a wonderful place to find used weights. Somebody bought weights and they're like, nope, this isn't for me. That you can take advantage of that. And then we have stores called Anytime Fitness, which is like a resale kind of place where you can
Oh,
buy used
right.
weight. Yeah, used weights. But Target works too. Target works too. Yeah.
Okay, so bands would work and they would work for
Yep.
your workout.
Yep. Most, yes, they would you can do anything with a band. Front squats, overhead presses, you can do anything with a band. You may have to be creative. How are you going to anchor it so you actually so the band stays in place as you move your arm or your leg or whatever you're doing. But yeah, you can use resistance bands for sure.
Okay, so that sounds
Mhm.
like a really realistic and
Yep.
quick way because Amazon will bring it the next day or whatever.
Exactly. Yeah. We
I love
traveled
it.
last a couple weeks ago. We were traveling, my husband and I, and we took all the bands with us. So we did the menopause minis in our Airbnb with our resistance bands. And, it was just like 10 minutes ish. And then you're like gone on with your day. I don't
Yeah,
know.
that is so cool. I hadn't thought about that for travel because
Hmm.
I don't have resistance bands. I have weights, but
Uh-huh.
uh I have been using them at the gym and I really like these and
Uh-huh.
I didn't even think, oh God, it would be so easy to throw them in my suitcase
Yeah.
to travel.
Yeah. And TSA doesn't bother you. And they don't weigh a lot and you can still check your suitcase. So yeah, we just take them with us. And ours have handles that you can interchange, but honestly, Rita, I just use them often without the handles on them. I just grab the band depending
Mhm.
on what the movement is. But all of that's included in my videos. I show you how to do that to anchor the bands.
Oh, you do? Okay, well, that's great. Okay, well,
Mm-hmm.
so everybody, Menopause Minis, the
Mm-hmm.
link is in the show notes. And Cam, thank you so much. Is there one encouraging for us heading into this new year of being healthy for somebody who's like, haven't exercised in years. I don't even know where to get started. Like one word of encouragement or one phrase of encouragement for that person out there listening.
Yeah, I think when you learn to move your body through time, space, and gravity and how that ripples into your life, I think this is a really easy place to start. Just get moving, just give it a try and like see what happens because it's amazing what happens to your life.
Yeah. Okay. I would say that that's a great starting place. Thank you so much, Cam, and we will
Thank
look
you.
forward to having you back for more fitness expertise soon.
Thank you, Rita. I appreciate it very much.
Thank you so much, Cam. Isn't she amazing? I get so much out of my conversations with her, and I'm really inspired to really dive deeper and to lift some heavier weight. But if you're interested too, for a simple workout that you can just follow along with, click the link in the show notes. It's right there for you. You'll save $50. That's $50. That's a lot of money. And you can grab her Menopause Mini Strength Training Program. All right. I hope you have a great week. And remember that the key, and probably the only key to unlocking the door of the weight struggle, is inside you. So keep listening and find it. And I will see you here next week. Thanks for listening to the Thin Thinking Podcast. Did that episode go by way too fast for you? If so, and you want to dive deeper into the mindset of long-term weight release, head on over to www.shiftweightmastery.com. That's www.shiftweightmastery.com, where you'll find numerous tools and resources to help you unlock your mind for permanent weight release, tips, strategies, and more. And be sure to check the show notes to learn more about my book, From Fat to Thin Thinking, Unlock Your Mind for Permanent Weight Loss, and to learn how to subscribe to the podcast so that you never miss an episode.